What's up, everyone? Dylan here, and in this video, as a follow-up to my 5 ways that Bitcoin is better than gold, I'm going to talk about 5 ways that gold might be better than Bitcoin. So like, comment, share, subscribe below, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're Team Gold or Team Bitcoin. So if you don't know, I'm Team Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate gold and understand elements of gold and understand the things that makes it valuable. And I think these are some good arguments and things to consider. And ultimately, I think Bitcoin and gold, they're better together than they are apart, right? They serve different purposes, and they've also served different eras. Times change, people evolve, civilizations evolve, technology evolves. And when that happens, I think the society and the technology necessitate different solutions for the current problems that the people of the time are dealing with. And I just happen to think that Bitcoin provides more utility and more solutions for us going forward than gold. But I don't think that gold is completely useless. I don't think that gold is irrelevant. And I think gold is actually very important, and you shouldn't just dismiss gold. So let's get into the 5 reasons why gold might be better than Bitcoin. Number 1 is tangibility. So gold is a physical asset, and as such, it holds intrinsic value, and it has been valued as a tangible asset for thousands of years. And its tangibility provides a sense of security and stability that some people think that Bitcoin doesn't provide. So let's dive into tangibility of gold. It's a beautiful thing about gold that you can hold it, you can touch it. There's a power in that, operating in the physical realm. We live in the physical realm, but we've added digital elements, but we live in the physical realm. And so something that takes up physical space and physical mass, there is inherent value to that. That's the reality of the physical world. And with technology, as it has improved, gold has went from a pretty rock that was used just for jewelry to an abundance of applications used in different technologies, electronics, and things like that. It has proved very useful in use in things that we couldn't have imagined 200, 300 years ago, 400,000 years ago, 5,000, 10,000 years ago, when we just thought it was pretty. So that's something that's cool about gold, is that its physical properties have, and its usefulness has evolved over time with technology. So tangibility, that's something that gold has over Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, you can't touch it. You can't touch it. And that makes a big difference, especially for a lot of investors. Number 2 is established history. Gold has a long history. It's been around thousands of years, right? It's been widely accepted across the world. It's been a medium of exchange. It's been used as money over and over again. It has that established history, something that Bitcoin doesn't have, right? Bitcoin's been around 14 years. It's created in January of 2009. And while it hasn't a very impressive track record for those 14 years, it's 14 years versus 1,000 years. If you've ever seen the chart about is like the universe calendar, and it basically shows this period of time has been when humans existed, and here's all the other time, and humans have existed in like just the last seconds of the year for that calendar, and it shows like dinosaurs, all this other stuff. So we're so small of a blip on that scale. That's like Bitcoin compared to gold has been around for forever, and ever since there were people that were understood value and value transfers, gold has been a part of those civilizations. And the only way Bitcoin can compete with that is for Bitcoin to last that long. And so we just have to wait and see if that's possible, but we probably won't be around. So that is another point for gold, established history. Number 3, less volatility. Gold, if you don't know, is known for its relatively stable value compared to Bitcoin. Can experience ups and downs, up and down. Just last year, Bitcoin was at up $60,000 or more, and then now it's down in the 20s, right? So Bitcoin experienced these cycles with massive price fluctuations. Now, I'll argue that might be perhaps just because it's a newer technology, and as it's gaining traction, it's going to experience much more volatility, and that is expected. And we have seen Bitcoin's volatility go down over time. However, it still can be pretty volatile. It can go up 10% a day, down 20%, and that can create issues. Where gold, it has that consistent price stability. And in fact, if you look over time, they like to say an ounce of gold over time has traditionally been able to buy you one nice suit, right? So there's certain items that gold over time is basically tracked with. The price of a nice suit, $2,000, price of gold per ounce, $2,000. So there's certain things that gold has remained relatively stable in value with over time. And that is significant. That is important, right? It is important of having something that doesn't change radically over time. And that's a point for gold, and it's less price volatility, especially if you're an investor, of course, not financial advice, looking to add some stability to your portfolio. Something like gold can look very attractive in volatile times, especially if you hold lots of risk assets. So that brings us to number 4, physical demand. So I mentioned this before, but gold has various industrial uses, and it's widely used in jewelry, dentistry, electronics, and other sectors. This physical demand adds to its intrinsic value and provides additional market support beyond investment demand alone. So we like to think about an asset and something like gold as having a monetary premium and then like a demand premium, right? Demand. So like you have the natural demand for the use of gold, like we mentioned in jewelry, electronics, that kind of stuff, industrial applications. But then there's also the monetary premium, which is the value above and beyond what the market demands for the usage of that gold that is assigned to money. Okay, so gold has both of those properties because it can be used physically for something. So even if that monetary premium completely disappeared, people still want gold jewelry. The certain industrial applications are still better served using gold. And in fact, the demand could go up if there's no monetary premium for gold for industrial use applications, because that would mean that gold probably is less expensive because that monetary premium disappears. So we might see benefits in technology if something like that happens. And you can't say the same with Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is almost purely monetary premium because there's not really an example at currently, I think there might be in the future, but currently of any sort of industrial demand or any sort of physical demand for Bitcoin beyond the monetary premium that it offers. So this is another point for gold. And number 5 is lack of dependence on technology. So unlike Bitcoin, which relies completely on technology and the infrastructure set up around that, gold does not require electricity, internet access, or anything. Gold just exists in the physical world. Now, technology can enhance the value of gold, but just in general, gold does not require any sort of digital technology. And there's a particular event, and I get this question a lot when it comes to Bitcoiners, people that are involved in gold, and it's like, what would happen if all the power went out? And so the event in particular that could create this, people like to think of an EMP, another country attacking, and while that's plausible, that's possible, the more potential realistic event, and it's scary, is called a Carrington event. So you can go look this up, and I think one happened in the early 1900s. Luckily, it happened then, when there wasn't a bunch of electronic infrastructure, but it caused power surges, fires, a whole bunch of stuff. People are like, I don't know what happened. But what it is basically when you get a solar flare from the sun that makes direct contact with the earth, and that brings enough electromagnetic energy to short circuit a lot of the electrical grid. Now, this is actually a real threat, and this is something that has a high probability of happening because the sun's cycles goes in these waves. And I don't know the exact time frame. I think it's like 12-year cycles or so. And so you can look this up and correct me on that. But it goes through these waves and where there's heightened solar activity. And it produces these solar flares continuously. This happens all the time. And sometimes they just graze the earth, but sometimes it produces ones that are big enough, but that don't hit the earth. But if it did, it would cause significant damage to the electrical grid. And the problem with that is Bitcoin relies on the electrical grid and that infrastructure to transmit that data. Now, I do think Bitcoin would be resistant and would survive an event like that. But if all the electricity in the world went off, if the internet completely went off in the world, Bitcoin would probably be less useful than gold because there's no internet connection, there's nothing digital to transmit it. Now, I will say for you listening, the chances of that happening are very small, okay? And if those things do happen, you probably have more things to worry about than your gold or your Bitcoin, okay? There's probably other priorities, other things that are in line, which is why you should check out Economic Preppers, and it's why we make the shows and the content that we do, so you can be prepared, not scared, for if an event like that were to happen, you have the confidence that you'd be capable and able to not just survive, but thrive in those times. So just a recap of the 5 reasons why gold is better than Bitcoin. 1, tangibility. 2, established price history. 3, less volatility. 4, physical demand. And 5, lack of dependence on technology. So if you've liked this video, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.